Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Shit Moms Won't Say. If you are looking at your screen right now and you are thinking anything other than, holy shit, that's fake, you're a fucking liar. You're a liar, or we're not meant to be friends. I'm not sure which one. Anyway, this beautiful lady on the other side of my screen, you know her from so many things. Orange is the New Black, Better Things, you name it. She is incredible. More importantly, though, she is a mom of one, Alysia Reiner. Welcome to my show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
I can't believe you're here.
About shit moms won't say.
You got it. You'll get it. You'll get it. Shit moms won't
say that. Yeah.
You're allowed to say whatever you want. It's really, like I said, it's up to you. If something comes out of your mouth and then you're like, oh God, I don't know, that's your fault. That's not my fault. Okay. You know, I'm only accountable to myself. Like we were just, you know, you learn a lot when you become a mom. You're like, you got to be able to get shit done quick. You got to, you know, like you got to figure out stuff on your own. That's a big one for me. Is like, I'm accountable only for myself.
Mm-hmm. I like to say, stay in your own hula hoop.
I like that because I usually just tell people, stay in your own lane.
Yeah. Or bless them, change me.
That's good. Yeah. What are you drinking, by the way? Because where you are, it is like 4:30.
I know, it's beautiful, right? I am drinking a sparkling water that I made myself with my Soda Stream. Not that I'm sponsored by them, but I'd love to be.
Maybe you will be.
But yes, because I love that it saves the environment and you make your own seltzer. And then there's a splash of bitters in here, and then a splash of toffee flavored stevia drops. So it's a super yummy virgin cocktail.
That's some Hollywood shit right there. I am straight up drinking seltzer from a can. So
it's basically we're both doing fancy seltzer. I just made my own. Right?
You put yours in a glass. I was like, I can't be bothered. Well, if I put this in a glass,
I got these glasses at the 99-cent store. Mom shopping.
Yes.
But they make me happy. I like this side. I don't know how to bring these into camera.
No, they're nice. It's a nice glass.
Good, yeah.
You look very fancy, and not that your Soda Stream isn't fancy. It just gives you an air of like extra fancy. Yeah, so well done. Well done. By the way, I do have to call out, Alysia got ready in under 10 minutes.
And I'm wearing my daughter's shirt right now. I was like, what the fuck am I going to wear that's clean? And this is my daughter's shirt from I think Target. I'm a Target shopper, I admit. And we share certain things. She's 12, so we still share some shit.
No, I was wildly impressed. Like we jumped on and she was like, oh my God, it's video. Give me 15 minutes. This bitch was done in 10. So if you are looking for an actress who is ready to go, 10 minutes, and that she did it herself. So she looked gorgeous before anyway, but incredible. All right, let's jump into the big mom 3. So I'm very, very psyched for your answers because you are a bi-coastal woman with probably lots to say. So first question, the big mom 3, not a big curveball, very easy. Did you always know you wanted to be a mom?
Yes and no. Yes, I think I always wanted to be. I always knew that I had some shit to clean up before I became a mom. So I did a fuck ton of therapy because I wasn't sure I'd be ready. And I was really ready not to be ready. And I didn't want to be a mom until I was ready. So you should write
a book with that as the title. Just an idea.
I just really deeply believe that unless you clean up your shit first, you should not be a parent. That's just like,
no,
I put it out there. Old, it's, you know, like I love me some Laverne Cox. And she posted yesterday about motherhood. And she was like, bless every woman who's a mom. I have no desire to be a mom. I am momming myself. And that is a big enough job for this lifetime.
Absolutely.
And I was, yes, say it.
Reparenting, it's so important. It's so important. Oh my God.
So I knew I wanted to be a mom, but I didn't know if I would be able to reparent enough to be ready to be a mom. And I was ready to not be a mom if I couldn't, because I didn't want to fuck a kid up.
I totally get it. Do you feel sort of part two of that? So I know for me, I started to fix myself a little late in the game. I had already had the kid. And then I was like, no, you're a fucking mess. Like, you need to get your shit together. I mean, years of shit, but like certain shit once she was born, I was like, figure this out. I didn't want to be a mom until I met my wife. Do you feel that way about your husband?
Oh, that's a good question.
Thank you.
I think it wasn't until I met him that because I had beloveds before him that I was like, they wanted to be parents with me. And I was like, oh, I don't know. My first boyfriend, when I was like 16 and a half and he was 24, wanted to have 5 kids with me. And I was like, I don't know. And David definitely wanted kids and definitely made me go, oh, I think he'd be a good dad. And he's an extraordinary dad. But I would say I knew I had to start, like I started therapy at 21, and all through my 20s, like 20 to 30 was reparenting and figuring it out. And then my truth is like, truthy truth. I was like, oh, I'm clear, I'm ready. And then you have a kid and all sorts of new stuff come up that you didn't know was there. Like the truth is, all sorts of hysterical stuff comes up that you're like, oh, it's okay, we're gonna labor that shit too.
I must have missed that in my 10 years of therapy prior to having you. Thank you for bringing that back up. I was hoping we'd keep
like,
it
down. I forgot that memory.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
You were born, and now I'm in that memory in a way, like, oh, and that's what amazing modalities like EMDR and there's amazing therapy out there.
There is. There's incredible stuff.
I will share a story that I'll never forget. So I chose to breastfeed. Bless all choices around that.
That is best, absolutely.
And when she was about, I think, a year and a half, it was New Year's Eve. Oh, well, I'll back up. She kept on saying for about 6 months, Mama, who's my other mother? And of course I took this as a personal affront. She was an early talker. And I was like, I'm doing such a fuck up job that she's looking for backup. Like, I'm so messing this shit up that she's like, where's the other one? Like,
abort mission, bring in help.
Are you the only one? Like, really? And then eventually years later, I realized like, oh, I have 2 moms. She always thought there would be, because the lexicon in our house was, Gail, no, you're my other mother. Terry, no, my other mother. So she heard that. So she was always like, who's my other mother, right?
Oh.
But I would always say to her, and this is like one of my parenting hacks, never answer a question. Never answer a question. Ask a question back. So I would say to her, who do you think? Who do you think? I don't know. Who do you think? And on New Year's Eve, I'm putting her to bed and she goes, Mama, I know who my other mother is. And I said, oh, who? And she said, God. God is my other mother. And I was like, yeah, that's right. And that's when I learned very, very early that they have all the answers. And I'm like, moving forward into one of your future questions, I believe, but like my biggest parent wisdom is shut the fuck up and let them answer their own questions.
That is, first of all, I don't know if it's funny, adorable, or like some combination of the two, but chef's kiss to that. Really, really good. Okay, second question of the Big Mom 3. And now I'm like all jazzed up now that I know your like parenting style a little bit, because I think we have a lot in common in that we probably don't take a lot of shit from people. So no. And we're going to talk about why you're cast as someone who doesn't take a lot of shit often in a little bit. So what is the shittiest or most backhanded piece of advice you've ever gotten from another mother or parent?
I think it would have to do with, and I've heard so many women say this, like, oh, you think it's hard now, but when you have two, you'll learn how easy it is now.
No, I won't hear it. I won't hear anything about that. No, that's bullshit.
And first of all, and like how many times I get, oh, just the one. Like they're grieving for me because I made a choice that I made. Like, by the way, my choice. I made the choice. I actually like the choice.
It was a bad choice. It's your choice. Who cares?
So that's, I think every time there's like, even every time someone says just the one, I want to strangle them. I really do. So note to self, women, men, whomever is listening, never fucking say that. It is the rudest shit. It just is so deeply inappropriate.
So it's like, also, like you don't know why you have just the one. You happen to you made a choice to have one child. You don't know. Could be miscarriages, could be anything, could be so many fucking things. And people are like, oh, just the one. Yeah, just the one. Just the one. Thank you.
That's my most hated parent backhand comment.
I knew I could count on you. That's a good one.
And I guess sometimes it's a compliment like, oh, you're such a good mother. It must be so easy because you have just the one, you know? Or,
yeah, it's super easy.
That's the other one. Like, live is so easy. You're so lucky. You have such an easy kid. And yes, I do, but it makes me feel like I had nothing to do with it, which maybe I didn't, but I don't like feeling like that. Like,
I would bet you did though. Like, I was just going to say before you said it makes you feel like you have nothing, that you had nothing to do with it. I would imagine it's the exact opposite, right? Like, she's an easy kid at 12 because you probably did a really good job when she was little.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's how that works.
Yeah, I think we all can imagine that everybody else has it easier. And I just don't think it's true.
It's not. Yeah. It's not. Listen, we don't even have to do the third question of Big Mom 3 because you already answered it. You already answered. And just for everybody out there, the question, as we all know, is what is the skill or superpower you had before becoming a mom that you think has helped you as a mom? And like Alysia already did it. She said, you answer them with a question.
And I would say that's like, there's like part A and part B. That's part A. Part B, and it really depends. The biggest skill of parenting, I think if I were to I get asked a lot in like general interviews, like, if you couldn't be an actress, what would you do? And I think number one would be CIA, because I would love to like be a spy and like I got to do a lot of stunts this past year in 2 different projects. So I like that shit, like climbing shit and being all stunty. And then I'm obsessed with like human nature and like why people are who they are. I wrote my college essays about how psychoneurobiology and acting are really the same thing. And I'm obsessed with people. So
wait, you mean you're also smart? That's crazy. I thought you were just a dumb actress. I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were so smart.
And I didn't up where I went to school.
I know where you went to school and I know how smart you are.
So but really, if I had to do anything else, I'd kind of want to be like a life coach or a therapist. Like I love listening to people and I love encouraging people to live their dream. Like it's my favorite thing to do. And I love like seeing through their blind spots. Like I love with my friends, like, oh, I see your blind spot. I'm going to lovingly share with you your blind spot so that you can see it too and you can get through it. Like that's it, other than acting, my favorite thing to do. And that's a lot of parenting. And so part of that is asking lots of questions and not like when someone, it's like when your best friend's like, should I do X or Y? Instead of answering, being like, well, how do you feel about blah? How do you feel about blah? How do you feel about blah? How, like asking a shit ton of questions and then going, okay, put your hand on your heart and your hand on your belly. What is love? What is fear? And then once they've answered their own shit, then you can say, oh, by the way, when you said X, I had a feeling in my gut about Y. And I don't know if you've considered that. And maybe, and this all just happened today. So I'm like, it's very
fresh. Okay.
And she's like, fuck, I didn't even think of that. Like, oh, that's so, wow, that's a part of it I never saw. So I love that. And part of it is asking lots of questions. Part is active listening, which I feel like I didn't learn until like super recently. Truly as part of my anti-racism work, honestly, because I feel like I was taught to listen and then relate, like to listen and be like, oh, you're a mom, I'm a mom too.
Right. You can't just let it lie. Like it's your thing. Like, I don't have to tell you my thing. It can, yeah, no, I hear that. You like listen to respond.
As a white woman, I'm like, okay, as a deeply privileged white skinned human,
100%. Yeah.
I'm learning to listen and just say, wow, I hear your experience and not talk about me at all. Like just actively listen fully to them and not be like, oh, you're like that. I'm like that too. Like not share my version.
No, I know that's an interesting thing. Because I feel like we all look for, so like I'm a gay woman on Long Island. Like I've certainly had my own discriminatory type things, nowhere near anybody that has a different color of skin. Right. So if somebody's talking to you about that, like you're right. My old gut response was like, no, I get it. I get it because of all of discrimination I face. I don't fucking get it. And like, you're right. You have to be like, I'm so sorry you experienced that. That's it. Let me listen and learn. That's it.
Yeah, I hear your experience.
Yeah. Oh my God. What a beautiful point. That's so true.
I think as I learn to be better at that also makes me a better parent because sometimes it's asking questions, but sometimes it's just fully being present with your kid and letting them feel all the feels and just holding them and shutting the fuck up and just like, I hear you. I feel you. I hold you.
I love that. Oh, I love that. That's
and then
great.
that also like secret sauce, like point C of that is just being quiet sometimes is the worst punishment. Like not yelling, not getting angry. There have been times where I'm like, Olivia, I'm so upset right now. I can't speak to you. I'm going to go into my room and calm myself down.
That's terrifying, by the way.
That's really terrifying. I didn't like it to terrify her. I'm doing it because I don't know how to parent effectively in that moment. Sure. But I found that it's deeply effective because A, I do calm my shit down and I don't say something I don't want to say, but B, it scares the shit out of her.
I love that. Like my daughter's 1.5, so we're not there yet. I am going to keep that.
I disagree. Right here. I started that at 1.5. I started that when I was alone with her. David was away and she would start to tantrum or whatever, that like that magic 4 to 6 p.m. when you're like,
oh yes, the witching hour, you mean? Yes.
And the first time I ever did that, she was 1.5 and I put her in her, like she had like a safe space And I was like, mommy's going into the bathroom now to calm down.
Ooh.
And I went into the bathroom and I can't remember if I said calm down or feel my feelings. And I went into the bathroom and I screamed at the top of my lungs, like, and I probably cried for like, she was, I can't remember what she did, but it had like, I was done. And I calmed my stuff down. And by the time I came out, she's like, I'm sorry, mama.
I like it.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
mama.
I like that a lot. We're in a testing boundaries phase, so I like that a lot.
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, good answers. I love it. So speaking of you being terrifying, this is kind of where we're going to go because, well, let's do something else first before we talk about you being terrifying, because it is true. I first want to talk about, so you're sort of like, not really, you're kind of bi-coastal, I guess, at this point. Does your daughter go with you everywhere?
Mostly, like I'm in LA right now. I've been here since June. She finished school and then she came out. She was here for a little bit. She went to camp. And then when I wrap here in a couple of weeks, I'll go back there and I'll be there for like the first day of school.
For school. Cool. So my question is like, and it has to be tough because you have a 12-year-old daughter. Like, where do you find it, I guess, easier to parent, right? Like the Hollywood lifestyle is tough. The New York lifestyle is tough.
Yeah.
Like, where's it right?
We live in New York. We work in LA.
That's fair.
Another parenting hack that I will share is we narrate our lives every single day of life, right? You either acknowledge it or you don't. And watching your words is the most important thing you can do for yourself, right?
Sure.
So if I try and like watch the lies I tell in my head and watch the lies I tell to other people. So like, if I start calling myself an old lady or, and I'll notice it because like a friend will do it and I'll be like, oh my God, you just called yourself an old lady. Don't do that. And then I'll notice like, oh, you're so mean to yourself right now. I'm really mean to myself. Here's like, I'll totally tell you a secret about my under eyes. I'm like super mean to myself about my under eyes. And I spend way too much time thinking like, I don't do surgery. That's not who I am, but what can I do about my under eyes? Like, I don't know. How do I make them better? They're so puffy and I'm sure nobody can see it but me, but like, it's my thing. And I spend too much time thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, I have to change the narration there. Like, how do I change the narration? And I'm actually realizing like, I didn't realize this about myself until this very second. So
oh no,
making me admit that and call myself out. So now I have to really change my narration around my under eyes. But
I just put you back in therapy. You're so welcome.
Exactly. So, but I really believe in narration around kids and like watching every word.
Sure.
And they hear everything. I think from the time they're born, they hear everything. And to me, it's a lie to think that they don't. And I've heard parents say so many things in front of their kids that I don't think they really want them to hear.
No.
So in reference to New York and LA, from the beginning, in her presence, when she was awake and in a room, and even if she was asleep, we would say we live in New York and LA and we live everywhere. That's cool. Isn't it fun that we have this big adventurous life and home is where we are. Home is the three of us. And that could be New York, that could be LA. I've taken to saying my dream is that in the next 4 years, she's going into 7th grade sometime in the next 4 to 5 years, I get a job in like some sexy, incredible non-American place. And we have to live there for 6 to 12 months at least. And we as a family live somewhere else. Cause I always found the kids who grew up like Army brats or like kids who grew up multiple places so cool. So I want that for her. And so I use that in the narration of our life. I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if I got this job in Germany or Romania or whatever? And she's like, yeah. So I think it's really important that everybody has to do their own thing.
Sure.
It's really helpful for us that it's like home is where we are.
And what a beautiful fucking correction you just did for yourself too. That was so good to be like, no, it works for us.
Yeah.
That was great. Yeah. That was a good self-acknowledgement moment. Wow. Impressive shit. All right. Yeah. Now I want to talk about what I want to talk about because you just did something nice. So I want to talk about all of the cool shit you have coming up because I think I want every man in the whole world that's ever like, I skipped lunch today because I'm too busy. Busy's good. I want every man that's ever had that come out of their mouth to like talk to you and be like, this is what busy is. This is actually how someone stays busy. So first of all, and I just think it's so funny because you are such a lovely human being. Like it radiates from you that you're just a kind person. You are always cast as an atrocious bitch. 100, like Fig she's the worst person that's ever been on TV. She's awful, but like you are not. How did this happen to you? Who did this to you? Blink twice if you need help, please.
I think it's because I just think it's because I'm tall and smart.
No, that's it. I think it's the smart. I think it's the
like
smart.
When you're tall and smart, it's hard. And I've always wanted to play like someone kind or not so smart. Hopefully that will come. And this year I got to play a bitch, like a boss bitch, toughie who does stunts that I'm not allowed to talk about. And we don't know if she's a mom yet. And then I got to play an assassin boss bitch, but is a mom. And like the whole movie is about trying to save her little 8-year-old son's life. So that's cool. That's like, you see a vulnerable side, which is kind of juicy.
Okay.
And then Better Things, I don't think I'm a little less bitchy, and I think she's grown. What's cool.
Yeah, there's a progression. There is. Yeah.
What I love about both Fig and Sunny on Better Things is like, I feel like a little more Alysia, like a little Alysia sprinkle dust came in, and like Fig got a little kinder over the 7 years, right? She's like fine. She was boss bitch. And then like in the end, she saved a kid's life, right?
That's true. That's true. Sure.
And then Sunny, I can't tell you anything about season 5, but like,
I know you just wrapped season 5, right?
We're still shooting.
You're shooting season 5. It's coming.
So she's still, I think she's grown massively. I'll say, I think she's grown massively. And then I'm doing this new show called Shining Veil. And
I am so excited for Shining Veil because I feel like they looked at all of the demographics in the world and they were like, this one's for Jess. Like horror comedy. Hello. Yes.
When they offered it to me, I was like, a horror comedy? What?
Yes.
And then they sent me the pilot and I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah. And of course, the cast is incredible. Courtney Cox is, a comic genius and a horror comedy genius, like Scream.
Scream's my favorite movie of all time. So
then Greg Kinnear, like it's incredible.
Isn't like Mira Sorvino in it? Like you have some like crazy, it's a crazy cast.
Crazy cast. And I kind of play a boss bitch in that. Like I'm Courtney Cox is going through a really hard time in this show. I can't really say much more than that.
We'll all see soon enough.
She's fucking haunted, let's just say.
Okay.
And so it's tricky. And comparatively, I'm like a little bit more ebullient because I'm not being haunted by Mira Sorvino. But I'm still kind of trying to steal her husband, which is not, I think that still technically is pretty bitchy.
I think, that kind of falls in the line of like Alysia type casting for sure. Yeah.
I'm a nice girl who's trying to steal your husband. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, totally. By the way, you have one of my favorite cameos on the show ever. And I don't know if people bring this up to you. You did one of the funniest cameos on Search Party.
Oh,
Ever. Ever.
I love them so much. I've never seen I'm so embarrassed to say, don't tell Sarah and Charles this, but I've never seen my episode. I've seen Search Party, but never those episodes. I'm not a big fan of watching myself, but I love Sarah. I think Sarah and Charles are geniuses. I did their first film, which is so good, Fort Tilden. You would love it. It's so funny. And I do also have, like, it's basically these two girls and then all cameos.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Highly recommend it. Like, so delicious.
I'll check it out. Yeah.
Great little movie. And then I thought, it's funny, I thought you were going to say Broad City.
I can't even talk to you about Broad City because I love it so much. I will not even bring it up because it's too exciting for me, because I love those two women with such a fiery, almost like embarrassing passion is how much I love them.
Yeah. It was so fun doing that. And it was animated too, which is like
incredible. Incredible. Yeah, you've had some good shit. And don't you have a feature film coming out too? You have like
I just shot this movie, Going Places, which was insane fun. They just picture wrapped and they're gonna bless, it'll be a Sundance fave, we'll see. Yes. But right before the pandemic, I produced and starred in a movie called Egg that I think you would love.
I have not seen Egg. I am familiar with Egg. I've not seen it yet, but I've heard that. Christina
Hendricks, Anna Camp, Benge Akanabe, and my sweet husband, David Allen Beisch. And it's all about choices in motherhood.
Amazing.
So highly recommend. It's on Apple and Amazon.
I will watch it. You have my word. I will 100% watch it.
It came out like right before the pandemic.
Good timing. Amazing timing. That's terrific. Well, listen, let's start to wrap it up. This is amazing. You have so much stuff going on. So if people don't watch you in something, like, stop watching this, for Christ's sake. Go watch her.
And follow me on all the socials, please.
Oh yes, we're gonna plug all of it. And like, you respond. Like, I reached out to you on Instagram and be like, hey, come on my show. And she's like, yeah, cool. Email me. Like, you're there. It's you. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. We'll tag out all of your socials so everybody can find you and follow you and all that good stuff. But I have two final questions and then we're going to wrap it up and shut it down. So second to last question. Your daughter is 12. So I'm always curious about this. What is something at her current age that you as a mom cannot live without?
At her current age.
Right? It's like almost easier when they're babies. You're like, diapers, like, right now.
My answer plan was based on her youth. But I would say at her current age, my truth of this moment is, I hope this doesn't embarrass her, but hopefully she'll never listen to this. She is 12 and she hasn't had her period yet. And there's a lot of talk and fear about having it. So I can't live without having a pad or some solution with me at all times so she feels comfortable.
That's a great answer.
Making sure she had it at camp and making sure like that it's in all our houses. She knows where it is. It's in the car, like it's ready so she doesn't feel scared.
You take the big deal out of it.
Yeah.
I love it.
We have the conversations about it, but it's like, you never have to feel unprepared. Like she'll have a little packet in her school bag, in her knapsack. So like, she's ready whenever it happens. That's what 12 and a half looks like.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. And she'll never watch this. I promise. Don't feel if she does, she'll be like 20 and be like, oh, my mom said that when I was 12. Yikes. Okay. Last question. What is something you know now that you wish you knew before becoming a mom?
If something I wish I knew, I think it's going to go back to the beginning of, I wish I knew how to be quiet. Like I've learned to be more and more quiet over the past 12 years. And I think it's some of the, like, lovingly, actively quiet is a really good parenting tool. Because my truth is, I can very unintentionally throw my opinion or throw my past or throw my mishigas on her. So quietly, actively, lovingly, presently listening with every cell in my body is something I'm consistently cultivating. And I guess I wish I was even better at that before I became a mom.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, thank you so much for being here. This has been like an absolute treat and a half. I really appreciate it. Everyone, go follow Alysia on social media and do not miss a single thing that she's doing. Please. She has so much shit going on. I know, like, who can keep up? Make a list, check it off, and go watch it. Okay? Sound good? Thank you so much. You're such a treat. And thank you for watching Shit Moms Won't Say. We'll see you next week.